And Coach, just after getting 40 minutes on film, what was your biggest takeaway from exhibition?
Well, the biggest takeaway would be that we still have a lot of work to do, especially defensively. First time that that we played a team that obviously that pretty much five guys out off the time. It felt like you're playing as five guards, and having our post players out there as much as they were. And Lenoir Rhyne ran some really good actions. They did a lot of really nice stuff on the offensive end, where as much as you practice against each other every day, you get to know yourself in practice. But when you're having to deal with someone else doing things differently, even how you would guard a player one-on-one is different. But we've still got quite a bit of work to do on the defensive end. Offensively, shot the ball pretty good. Some guys that we count on to shoot it maybe better didn't shoot it as well. But the way they were playing, those opportunities were there, and we tried to take advantage of it.
Do you still expect John back for this opener?
I don't know. I just asked Tom. He says it's what was the word you
questionable.
used? Questionable. And he's been doing everything he can with us. Obviously, he's not in contact with us right now, but otherwise, he's doing everything he can to keep himself in the kind of condition he needs to be in.
Is Jonas back yet, Coach? And just kind of how far behind is he?
He practiced the other day. And he looked okay. He just, as you would imagine, stamina is still a concern, which we knew that going in. He wasn't able to go through the whole practice, but we were able to spot him throughout practice, and he looked like he enjoyed being back out there, which is a good thing. But it will take some time, I think, to get him back up to where he needs from a conditioning standpoint.
Villanova just a few weeks away. Just how fixable do you feel like the defensive stuff is kind of by the bulk of the season, or is it going to be something you have to grow with a lot as the season progresses?
Well, forget Villanova. We better be ready to play Tuesday night against UT Martin. They've got a new program there, really a terrific new basketball coach, and does a great job. If you know anything about his past, his teams execute extremely well, and they do good things again. And then obviously before Villanova, we'd have East Tennessee State. We have great respect for Coach Oliver and what he does. So it's about what we can do today and leading up to the opener against UT Martin, where we've got to get better. And then from there, we do expect to build from start to finish. And do we think we're going to be as good as we're going to be right now defensively? No, but we know we've got to keep making those strides every day.
You said you were surprised with some things Brandon did the other day. How has he kind of followed that game up in practices since?
He's had a really good attitude, really wonderful attitude in terms of, he's very active with his hands. He's got really good feet. He's got soft hands. He gets his hands on a lot of basketballs where he pokes all the time, trying to break things loose. And but he's at that point where he's really he's trying to accept the things that we're looking for him to do on both the offensive and defensive end. And it's going to be a matter, not just Brandon, but I would say everyone, especially more of the younger guys, consistency. How much can we count on you, especially when you get fatigued? Can you fight through fatigue and make good plays when you're a little tired?
What's your confidence level with Euros and Olivier being able to give you those consistent minutes night in, night out that maybe they weren't able to last year?
Well, we have to be, I think, confident with them because they've done the work that we've asked them to do, and we expect them to continue to get consistent, and so we'll know what to expect. We know that defensively it's non-negotiable there. They've got to give it to us on that end first and foremost, and inside, if they will just learn to fight for their space on the floor, do the things that we ask them to do within our offense, they'll be fine there. But the biggest key for us as a coaching staff would be, can we count on them night in and night out to play defense the way we want to play it and rebound the basketball?
Coach, you talked about that consistency. When you go back and look what Chandler did on Saturday night, just having one turnover in his college debut, how much confidence does that give you in his ability to run this offense?
Well, we have confidence in Kennedy. He shot the ball well. He did. He shot it well the other night. Had a really couple nice plays where he fought for space to get inside the lane and drop off some passes. But do we have confidence? We do, because we have confidence in the fact that we watch he and Santiago and Zakai go at it every day. Those guys, what they do and the way they compete every day. But with Kennedy, I would say the same thing about the younger guys, is learning how to compete at the highest level and fight through fatigue when you're tired. because to be an elite player, you got to be in elite shape. I think he's there physically. I don't think he's there mentally, and I think that's the next step for him. But no one's going to work any harder with it than he is, and but it's just a matter of him breaking through that, and how quickly that will be, we'll see.
What about vocally? Do you see him as a vocal point guard on the court?
He's getting better. He is. He is getting better, and now he's got to learn to say what needs to be said as opposed to just talking to talk. And but the fact that he's willing to talk is a major breakthrough for any player, because I think that when players get here, in general, they don't talk a lot when they're playing. But the fact is, I think our players look to Kennedy and Santi, Zakai, those guys that had the ball in their hand most of the time to be vocal leaders.
Coach, you said the other day at the quarterback club that in Texas, I think it was your Final Four team in Texas, you played 10 guys, 10 minutes a game. You have not come close to doing that here. Do you have any idea what your rotation looks like now?
Rob, I really don't. We don't. The players will decide that. They will. As time goes on. I actually think we might have played 11 guys at Texas when we went to the Final Four double digits, but it was a group of guys that had totally sold out for their roles and knew that time on the court was valuable. Every possession mattered. Couldn't take time off on defense, and so it was kind of a tag team match sort of mentality. And we like. There's not a guy on our team that we think that can't help us, but it's a matter of consistency. Can they truly comprehend and grasp the role we need them to play? And when they go on the floor, we know exactly what we're going to get from them.
How much of a feel can you get for that consistency from players in practice, and how much do you have to see it on the court for guys to consistently earn a role?
Well, practice, it starts there, because I do think it's a game of habit. And so it's going to start in practice every single day. And listening is a big part of that too. And as much time as we do try to spend with our guys with every facet of our program, film study, asking them to carry it over right now to show us that they're understanding what we need. But then again, when the lights come on, it's a little bit different arena that they're in, and it's not like we can stop them and correct them. And so we hope our daily routine of what we do with repetition is what's going to carry them, and they rely on when we get under the lights.
What does UT Martin bring that will challenge your team coming up on Tuesday?
Well, again, they have a scrimmage that we haven't seen them yet. We'll exchange films with them. But again, I had a chance to meet their coach, Coach Ritter, and he's really a wonderful person. I know Dr. Carver there, and when he went through that process, he talked about his character, which is evident once you meet him. And but Ryan was a guy that as soon as I met him, I was hearing him talk during the coaches versus cancer, and you just knew by hearing him talk that the guy, a lot of confidence, knew what he wanted to get done, and he was a coach that's going to build a great program there. And so you go back and look at what he did at Bethune-Cookman. His team is going to play hard. They're going to work really hard defensively, and so again, once it starts for real, we know none of them are easy.
Two more.
If I remember right, you guys were going to open against UT Martin last year, but that was one of the games that got canceled due to COVID. Did you want to bring that matchup back this year after not getting it last year? Did that factor in at all?
I don't remember if we were going to open against them last year or not, other than when the COVID hit. I think we were scrambling for games, and they were too. But again, the relationship that we have with them being in our system, and the fact that Dr. Carver is a wonderful person, a person I would call a friend, and the way he has built that university and what he's looking for in his basketball program and his athletic department, it's something that obviously it would have worked out last year. They would have been here, but also from talking through that, we wanted to see if we could follow up with it this year.